Hello, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, where today I have a little killer puzzle for you. Now, little killer, as you might notice from the absence of cages in the grid and the presence of little pointy arrows outside the grid, is not quite the same as killer, but it still involves the sum of some digits. However, those digits sort of lay along a diagonal. So this 36 clue, for example, is saying that these 9 digits add to 36. That is what this is claiming. So that doesn't tell us a lot, but it does tell us that. Now, very important to note for Little Killer, Little Killer does not forbid repetition. So the fact that it has killer in the name might cause you to think you can't repeat, because in killer puzzles you can't repeat, but in Little Killer you can, as long as Sudoku lets you. So I could have 3 9s along this diagonal, for example. Okay. So there's a link in the description. I'll give it a go. Let's see if I can remember or figure out how to solve this puzzle. So usually, this probably won't surprise you, you want to start with the smallest, shortest, or largest shortest thing. So like I've got some 7 8s over here that are pretty short, and they stay within one box. One of the nice things about staying within one box is that if they stay within one box, they can't repeat. And then I've got a 7 over here, which is like 4 digits adding to 7. That means they got to be pretty small on average. But let me start by teaching you one trick that can be quite useful. And this is also a useful trick with regular killer, which is that sometimes 2 clues are kind of useless separately, but they're useful if you combine them. So normally this 7 could be 1 6 2 5 or 3 4. And this 8 could be 1 3 4 or 1 2 5. And so you can sort of figure out all of this. And now if you pay super close attention to that, you'll notice the 8 clue always has a 1 in it, because I said it's 1 2 5 or 1 3 4. So this can't actually be 1 6. And so this is actually 1 2 3 4 5 as a quintuple. It's one of each. Now, that's kind of a little bit messy, if you will, to sort of case check that. What might be easier for your brain, or at least is certainly easier for my brain, is to just say, okay, if I just combine them, what I learn is that these 5 cells sum to 15. And that's just the minimum thing that 5 cells can sum to, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. And so, in fact, we just get right away, if we combine those, that those 2 things have to be a 1 2 3 4 5 quintuple, which is very nice, because it means that these have to be a 6 7 8 9 quadruple. Now, we deduced a thing that lays on this 15 diagonal, so maybe we should look at the 15 diagonal. Namely, now, actually, the 15 diagonal, if I'd listed all the possibilities before, I'd have been listing for a really long time. But actually now, there's not a lot left, because the minimum these 2 can sum to now is if they're 6 and 7, which is 13, plus 1 is 15. So in fact, I have to minimize this diagonal given what I said about these digits. So these aren't 8 or 9. And these are 1 and 1. Notably, that gives me a 6 7 pair. So these are an 8 9 pair now. Okay, that does place the 1 in this box, if you look at where the 1s are pointing in from. So we end up with a 1 over there. Okay, and so now I know at least a moderate amount more about this 36 clue, which is that it's got these 8 9s on this diagonal. But also remember the 7 clue that we looked at a little bit earlier. And we noted that these digits have to be pretty small. Well, now there's 3 1s that are looking straight at that clue. And so the minimum these 3 digits can be is 2. And you might notice that 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. And so I'm actually obligated to do exactly that. I can't do this 7 any other way. And so we have to do that. And now those 2s look over and they actually place the 2 in box 1. Now, remembering that these 3 have to sum to 8, that makes that a 5, and makes these a 3, 4. Now, that 1, 2 pushes up the minimum sum of these cells to 3, 4, 5, which is 12. And indeed, that is the claimed total. So these, in fact, are a 3, 4, 5. And now, actually, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple, which somewhat mirrors the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple over here, now actually pushes these 2 cells up to a minimum of being 6, 7, which is already 13. And so the only things left in the box are 8 and 9. Okay, so let's see. Can we do any additional Sudoku? Let's see. We've got a 3, 4 there and an 8, 9. So this is a 6, 7, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, if I look at this diagonal now, it might be productive. Because the minimum these cells can sum to now, given this 8, 9 pair, is 20. 8 plus 9 plus 3 is 20. Well, what's the minimum these 6 cells can sum to? Well, it's 12. Because these 6 cells can be 2 copies of 1, 2, 3. But that means I actually need to do that, because 20 plus 12 is already 32. So even though 32 wasn't a very restrictive total, once I put an 8, 9 on it, it actually worked out to be more restrictive. So that's going to proliferate some Sudoku through these places, because we're actually going to be able to place all of those digits like that. And perhaps now we can do something similar with this diagonal. Because now these sum to, in fact, they sum to exactly 18. So these all sum to exactly 18. Let's see. So the minimum these can sum to is 10, if these are 4 and 5. So these sum to a maximum of 8, I suppose, is what we were saying. Let's see. Can we do anything with Sudoku? It feels like maybe Sudoku would be in order. Okay, yes. So we said the maximum these 3 cells can sum to is 8. And just to remind you where that came from, these sum to 20. These sum to a minimum of 10. So that's 30. Sorry. These sum to 18. These sum to a minimum of 10. So that's a minimum of 28 so far. So that means these sum to a maximum of 8. Well, they also sum to a minimum of 8 if you notice that these 3 2s knock 2 entirely off this diagonal. So these are not actually minimum 1, 2, 3, which would be 6. These are minimum 1, 3, 4, which is 8. And so that actually means that we have to do that exact combination again. So we have to do this 18 plus 10 plus 8. And we actually know the order again being 4, 1, 3. Okay, so now we should definitely do some Sudoku, because now we've got a bunch of 1s, and so like that digit has to be a 1. That digit has to be a 1, and now we've got all the 1s. That digit has to be a 2. I don't know which of these two has to be a 2 just yet. Let's see. 3s. Oh yeah, I do see that that digit has to be a 3. Which seems to mean that that digit has to be a 3. And yeah, I know one of those is a 3 and one of these is a 3, but I don't know which one. These two 4s tell me that that digit's a 4, which gives me the 5 and the 4. The various 4s looking into this box tell me that that digit's a 4, which then actually places that 4. Okay, and then I've got a 4 in one of these and a 4 in one of these. I may regret not corner marking that, but I'm not yet prepared to corner mark. Okay. And then we've got a lot of 6, 7 energy going on, but we don't really know what to do with that. Okay, so do I know anything about what these are? Well, I guess I know that the things left in this column are 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, well, it's a 6 here would go with a 7 here. A 7 here would go with a 6 here. An 8 here would go with a 5 here. And a 9 would go with a 4 there, so I can't do that. So that's at least something. What about these? These two need to sum to 14. So they need to be either 6, 8 or 5, 9. That somehow doesn't feel that useful. Let's see. Can I do anything with like this 6, 7 pair in this row? Maybe I can do a little bit more Sudoku than I've given myself credit for. These are 5, 8, 9. These are 3, 6, 7. 3, 4, 6, 7, right? Let's see. Okay, so I can at least rule out, okay, I'm going to go back to this. So if this is a 6, then that digit needs to be an 8. If this is a 7, it doesn't work because I need that digit to be a 7. If this is an 8, I would need that digit to be a 6. And if this is a 9, I would need that to be a 5. Oh, I see. Okay. The point is, these clues place 2 in this box. That's what's going on. Because I can't put a 2 in any of these sums. So that's a 2. So now I probably know where the last 2 goes, which is there. And now I can figure out what this digit is by doing math. Because if I look at this box, I know the box sums to 45, but these all sum to 31. So that means these sum to 14, but those sum to 6. So that means this digit sums to 8. So it just is an 8. By using the fact that the whole box sums to 45. So let's see. So that gets me a 9 and an 8 and an 8 and a 9. So now there's no 8 involved in this sum. So it's a 6, 7 pair. So now there's no 6 up here. So now that's a 9 and a 5. Well, we haven't really thought about this 20 clue yet, but I have a feeling we're going to be fairly productive if we think about it, because these two sum to 10, and that's 14, so this needs to be a 6 in order to make the 20 clue work. So we can chase the 6, 7s around the grid a little bit. Let's see, that has become a 4. Okay, those are a 3, 6 pair. What are these now? These are now 6, 7. these are now 8, 9, I believe, for the row. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 5, 8, 9. It's not a 5. Let's see. And one of these two is a 3, which I realize is the thing I tried not to use before. Let's see. This column is probably better. One of these is a 7, and the other one is a 5. And believe it or not, I don't know. Oh, sorry, no. The other one's not a 5. One of them is a 7, and the other one is a 9. Okay, which I was excited about until I realized that that didn't help at all. Let's see. Okay, let's go digit by digit. We've got the 1s and the 2s. We know the other 3 is there. 4s we have most of. In fact, we have exactly 1 4 left. 5s. I don't think we know enough about to place yet. 6s. I don't think we know enough. Oh, I see. I see it. It's the 7s. I was going to get it when I got to 7s. This 7 looks down here, which places a 7 in one of these two cells, and that 7 looks across and makes that a 6 and a 7, which makes that a 9 and a 7. That 6 actually does a similar thing where it looks across here and looks up, so that's a 3 and a 6, and that's a 3. And so now I've got all of our 3s. Okay, so this is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a 7 or an 8 only, it looks like. This is 7, 8, or 9 just by the column. Oh, let's see. This row now is missing a 5 and a 9. And that's the 5 and that's the 9. So let's see. So that's going to place a bunch of digits all of a sudden. These two are 6 and 8. If I hit the right button, that'll work. Maybe I should do this one. That's a 5. That's a 9, 8, 5, 9. 5, 8 pair makes that a 9. Let's see. These two are a 6 and the other thing, which is an 8, which I think I don't know yet. So this is a 5, 6, or 8, I guess is what you're going to tell me. But that's the 5 for the column. Basically, I can place a 5 here by Sudoku, is what I'm really saying. Say it like that. Okay, so now this row is an 8, giving me a 6 and an 8. Making this a 7 and a 6. And there we go. All right. Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Invitation to Puzzles. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time on Invitation to Puzzles. Do please leave a comment. Please like the video. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.